Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Good morning, wherever you guys are in the world. It is an exciting day for StarCraft 2. My name is Passer, and we are here to bring you the Alpha Pro Series number 178. To my left over there is our man at Black One. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I am doing fantastic. Today is like we said, ladies and gentlemen, today is a beautiful day. And today we got Vindicta versus SortOf in a best of 9 show match. So Black One, you are on a team with Vindicta. What do you think about this matchup?
Okay, so SortOf is always a hard Zerg to beat. Especially lately, he has been looking really, really good. And I have my fingers crossed for Vindicta, who should be able to pose a threat to SortOf and should be able to take some maps, if not even the series.
Well, indeed, that is a really good way to put it. And we are going to actually just start things off very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, by hopping in to game number 1 of this best of 9 series. So spawning up here in the top position, he is Vindicta.
And spawning in the bottom left position, it is SortOf.
Now, the big thing about these kind of series, ladies and gentlemen, is they are very reliant on the support of the community, and there are so many good ways that you guys can support tournaments like this, even just starting off. Since looks like we got a couple of minutes before these guys are going to start the real fun. But if you go head on over to the Matcherino page, you can actually use the code. Let me actually get the code. APS 178, and you can add 50 cents to the prize pool for free. And that's right, I said money and free in the same sentence. But
I'm not sure how Matcherino does it, but somehow they do it, and this way you can support so many great tournaments, and on this day you can especially support those two players who are going to give their very best to show you some awesome StarCraft 2.
Indeed, indeed. And these guys, I mean, these are some of the top of the barrel here, sort of. One of the best Zerg EU players in the world, and Vindicta. You know, he's been really coming up on his own recently. He's recently started playing in the WCS tournaments and the new EPT tournaments as well, because he wasn't old enough before, and he's really started to make a name for himself in that regard. He is a very fun player to watch. He's got so many different variety in his build style, and he is not afraid to pull out some very cheeky strats right now. Even right now, just trying to block that third hatchery, but sort of. He's not having any of that. Just going to throw down his third hatchery in a much more aggressive position.
So we've been seeing a lot of Zerg players going for the more aggressive style of expanding, especially on the map Nightshade. When I think of Nightshade, I usually think of the forward third base, which sort of likes to take, and I think that's something special about SortOf, because he really likes the offensive kind of playstyle.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how aggressive is he going to be in this game. Remember, just because he takes the fourth or third doesn't mean he needs to use the third for that economy. Sometimes you just kind of build that for larva. Right now, he is droning up quite heavily behind this, and Vindicta, well, he's just kind of doing his own thing, you know? He's got those Hellions on the way, and since the Reaper kept alive, that is a very nice combination play there. These units really sync up together really well, especially when you have such a far distance to get to your opponent's side of the map. And even behind this, we do see that it is going to be a very fast bio follow-up, as Stimpack is under production.
Yeah, he also decided to go for the Liberator. Whenever you see the tech lab at the barracks while the starport is being built, you're not quite sure if he's going to be looking at Banshee play or if he's going for the Liberator. But as soon as you see the tech lab researching, you know it'll be Stim. And you basically know there is going to be some pressure at hand.
Indeed, and one of the big things is he doesn't actually know that that was a Liberator coming out. So he'll probably be thinking that's a medevac. And that means he will possibly start to pull some units towards the main base to defend, which can leave his frontal expansions, since they are so close. He should be able to kind of trick SortOf in that regard. And look at that, we just have those Lings in a very nice position in the natural so that they can move towards either base, the third or the natural, depending on what they need to do. So far though, SortOf hasn't really taken any damage here. The Liberator gonna come in, and this is nice. Just delaying the mining for as long as possible.
So what you want to do basically is keep the queens busy with your Liberator, and then try to land those small attacks with the Hellions to get some damage out, to deny some creep, the usual stuff, you know?
Yeah, Vindicta has pretty good map presence right now. He is really just trying to keep SortOf on creep right now. He's not engaging on the creep, he's just really slowing down that spread, which is really nice. Might even try and go for a queen, and he's gonna get it. That is a really nice pick off to start things.
Yeah, that's already the second queen, and this is the kind of play I was talking about, where you just try to distract the Zerg player and then you go in again from a different angle and try to get some damage done, even if it's only to disturb their rhythm. If you're playing Zerg and you're going for that macro style, being in a certain rhythm is super important, because you need to hit those injects, you need to hit those upgrades, you need to hit so many things that are basically timing based, that getting out of rhythm will just throw you off for the whole game.
And that is what Vindicta is trying to do as he's coming in with his next big attack. Unfortunately for him, SortOf does get a nice surround, but is there enough links to clean this up? It looks like just barely enough. And behind this, you know, we have 7 to 8 Marines being proxied out at a time. He's got +1 on the way, a little bit quicker than his Zerg opponent. And now he can just kind of keep the aggression up. A little bit of a pause here from SortOf, feeling a little bit of the lag spikes, which can happen when you're switching between NA and EU. So we'll see what he likes to do with that.
So last time I casted SortOf, it was the Chinese Team League, and he has been struggling a lot with lags against parting, which, if you're playing the Chinese Team League, is already worse enough, because if you're based in Europe, you will play with a 300 to 400 ping to the Korean server, and then experiencing lag spikes as well will just ruin your day.
Oh yeah, especially when you have such an aggressive Terran here in Vindicta. Already the next attack coming in, the siege tanks in the back. Now Vindicta has really just set up this position where he can just pick off banelings in the front, and if he feels threatened, he can just back up to that tank line. Although this round,
nice run by.
Yeah, it does come around, but it actually does not get the tanks. A really nice spread on them. He does get to clean that up, but there is still a lot of bio right here.
Taking out those tanks will slow down Vindicta's push here so drastically, because you can't just focus fire the banelings now with the tanks and pretty much two-shot kill them. Now he has to pick up and boost out of there because the Hydras are joining the fight, and Hydralisks, they will just shred your Marines.
Indeed, he is doing pretty good on cleaning up the creep on this side. He wants to get some of those drone damage. But at the moment, he's kind of just seesawing between these two positions. I thought those were a couple of Marines sneaking in, but just a couple of changelings.
Man, if even the casters were fooled, what are the players going to be looking at?
Yeah. See, what I love about this is he is clearing up the creep wherever possible. And what that really means is those Hydralisks are going to have some trouble getting to his side of the map. The big thing about Hydralisks is they are a bit slow when they get off that creep, so you really need to keep that spread back. And SortOf, he's doing a pretty good job of trying to respread it, but Vindicta is just in so many different locations. SortOf needs to kind of be in multiple locations at once for this.
Yeah, and this once again makes it so hard to play Zerg if the Terran is just putting on pressure on each side of the map. Everywhere there's a drop you're looking at, some Marines there, some Medivacs there, and suddenly you find yourself in the position where you miss those injects and your army is way smaller than it should be.
Look at this bio ball, however, Vindicta. I'm loving this. Like you were saying, that all you got to do is keep up the aggression and your opponent will be very hard to deal with it. And we already have this huge army coming through. SortOf, though, he's no slouch. He's currently sitting on 112 army supply with a very good amount of Lings and Banes. Going up to Hive as well, so his +3 upgrades will start pretty soon as well. So this Vindicta is going to have to start getting in there and doing some damage before those higher tier units come out for SortOf.
Yeah, for SortOf it's all about slowing down this push. Maybe even going for a surround and killing all those tanks, and we see a nice little flank being set up there by SortOf. He already knows how to defend this, but Vindicta is harassing in the natural as well. The fight is going down. All the tanks will be cleared up, which is a huge setback for Vindicta.
Yeah, in the back he does get 4 drones. Might have been able to focus fire a few more if he was paying attention, but still, he's doing a good job. You know, now SortOf can't go out onto the map and counterattack because he's got to worry about these couple of medevacs that are hanging out in the back of his base.
It's so important for Vindicta to keep his medivac count healthy and also to keep his tank count healthy. But when it comes to the tank count, we just lost 4 of them. That means we need
Ooh.
some. Oh, what did he kill there?
He just killed the Ultralisk then.
Oh, nice. That's a trade I take every day and night.
Yeah, and 7 drones to go along with it. Vindicta finding that bit of damage that he needs to. Still has to slow down sort of a little bit here, sort of up to 5 bases. But here we go, another big engagement. The surrounds have just been on point for SortOf, and he's able to clean this up once again. Vindicta down half army supply.
This is the kind of play by SortOf that will make you go insane. Did he just blow up all his paintings?
I think he just blew up all of his banelings.
Oh my god.
He hit the X key without realizing it.
Isn't it the same key for morphing banelings as it is for detonating them?
No, standard setup is E for making banelings and then X for detonating.
Ah, I see. Because with the classic setup, you have B for morphing them and B for detonating them. So
That is just asking for trouble right there.
right? Oh man, imagine you're getting attacked right after you detonated all your banelings. You must hate yourself so much in that moment.
Oh yeah, but here we go. Liberators are going to set up. The Hydra is going to be able to get right on top of them, but they're still going to get some work done. Siege tanks get enough time to set up there, and this attack is repelled, as well as the attack on the right side. Vindicta, he's still down quite a bit in terms of that army supply, having some trouble re-maxing on that. His economy is actually not looking too good either. If we take a look at that graph, you know, Sorta's really going far ahead. And that's kind of the thing. Once you hit that hive tech, it is so much easier for the Zerg to kind of keep these aggressions up because you have enough bases for creep, larva rather, and it's just really easy to kind of get that macro machine going here. SortOf, I don't think he's gone really below being maxed out at any point for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, SortOf really on point here. What I want to point out right now is Vindicta's medivac count. It's super low. It was at 1 medivac. Now we are at 2. 2 medivacs are not enough to heal up all those stimmed forces. And if you need to remake those medivacs, you will eventually have a lot less Liberator. Now SortOf is moving in on those tanks and the 5th base of Vindicta, and he will clean up that 3rd base.
Yeah, he does get repelled on the left, but the right side starting to get some good work done. Might actually get the Ghost Academy as well. That means no more Ghosts to deal with the Ultralisks in the back. And like you were saying, like it's very gas intensive having to remake those medevacs at this stage in the game, as well as trying to get those Liberators and those Siege tanks and the Ghosts as well. So look at that, he's just not remaking that medevac count, and that's really going to come back to bite him in the bumhole in a couple minutes here.
I agree, but what are you going to do? You need those. Oh my god. SortOf is engaging once again. Nukes going down on the other side of the map, but will they be able to save Vindicta here? The 5th base of Vindicta is just about to stay up there. The Ghost gets out.
Got about 6 kills there.
Oh, that hurts.
You know, the funny thing is, I don't think they were actually drone kills either, because we didn't get the indication on. Yeah, because we didn't get the indicator on the side.
Right. The next, I love when Ghosts just casually walk by in Zerg army. Oh my god, that Doom drop will just be shut down immediately.
Yeah, and once again, SortOf's going to move into this location. The siege tanks getting some good work done, but I don't know if that's going to be enough because he is pushed back once again. You know, but the thing is, every single time he comes in here, it's harder and harder for Vindicta to remax. He's pretty much relying on his mule count right now to keep him in this game, as his SEV count still pretty high, but it's just not enough to replenish a Terran army.
But what's happening here? Vindicta taking the supply lead. It looks like SortOf has just been running into those siege tanks too much lately. He's now going in once again at this third base location. The Ultralisk leading the charge, but they will be taken down so fast by the Ghost Snipes. And what stays are Lings and Banelings. And nothing else really. SortOf once again down in supply. Vindicta really trading well right there.
Yeah, I mean, SortOf's kind of broke right now. He's trying to keep out Ultralisks, which are so expensive. He's trying to get Corruptors out, as well as that Greater Spire for Broodlords. He's just broke. It's flat broke.
I wonder what his plan is right now, because he has been trying to headbutt this defense of Vindicta with those Ultralisks, but that didn't really work out that well. And now Vindicta is getting into a phase of the game where he can just set up his siege units like Liberators and tanks, stand there with ghosts, be super secure and go for little run-bys like this one. Nice splits by Vindicta. And in the end, the drop will be cleared up, but at what cost?
Yeah, lost quite a few Banelings right there. Look, but luckily for SortOf, he does have a nice small bank of gas up, and from there, you know, SortOf, he's maxed out once again. He's just kind of relying on these Lings and Banes for right now because he wants to save that gas for Broodlords. Just more and more Corruptors coming out, and this is gonna, you know, this is really gonna have to see if Vindicta can deal with that. He's got ghosts, but those siege tanks can do such good damage if you're not paying attention. And look at this. Where is SortOf looking at? He's not looking at the bases right now. Does he see?
Oh my god, those nukes will all land, and 8 drones were killed in the process. The ghost for the upper nuke was a little too close to the fire and burned himself.
He saw it at just the last second, but it was not enough to save those drones or the queens either. And great damage going down there for Vindicta.
I'm wondering right now if what we are seeing here with the ghost, like the really ghost heavy style by Vindicta, is the coming future for the TvZ meta, because we did see the Baneling nerf, but hold it right there. Big run by SortOf. He's just going to crush this 5th base, and Vindicta once again down 1 base.
Yeah, Vindicta, he's struggling to get that economy back up. It just keeps going down further and further. Bit of a miss EMP there. Like, you really don't want to hit your medevacs with that.
Oh, another nuke. And this one, will it be spotted in time?
I think he sees it.
No, he's looking for it. Oh.
Ooh, okay. Not the best position right there, but the easiest one to hide in. So 4 more workers going down, and he's kind of just trying to whittle away the count of SortOf.
Another run by here by Vindicta. He's really showing off how to play against Zerg in those late game matches, but the Banelings almost get huge connects right there. And in the end, Vindicta will manage to save his base on the right side, but the base on the left side is once again really open for some run-bys by the Zerg. And I feel like with the Ultralisk there, SortOf is definitely looking for something like this.
Indeed, indeed. And just looking at it, you know, Vindicta, he's adding on the extra starports right now. He's got the Vikings on the way, and that's really what you need to deal with this. But will it be in time? We're going to start seeing this kind of slow push in from SortOf, already taking out a couple of Broodlords accidentally there. Siege Tanks doing more damage than they are helping.
And now that the siege tanks are unsieged, SortOf is just going to run on top of everything with his ground forces. The Broodlords are shooting down at the planetary as well. And what's there really left? All the corruptors may be able to clean it up, and then Vindicta is in a really tough spot, being down 60 supply against the maxed out Zerg. That's never the place you want to be in.
He's broke. Like, Vindicta is absolutely, legitimately broke here. And I think with this base going down as well, he has a couple extra, but that's not going to be enough. SortOf takes game number 1. And this just shows how good of a series this is going to be, ladies and gentlemen, if the first game is as action-packed as this one.
Absolutely insane. Those players are just mental going at it like this. They're just throwing units at each other from every possible angle. They are trying to deny bases, and I love how they play this. I'm already excited to see some of the new maps like Submarine being played out, because those maps, that map in particular, is so much smaller, and the fight and struggle for those later bases, like the 5th or 6th base, is going to be huge. And with their super aggressive playstyle, we will be seeing a lot of harassment, a lot of small skirmishes that will kick those matches off.
Yeah, and we are hopping over to the EU server right now, just waiting for one more lovely gentleman to join us, the winner of last game. Now, if you guys aren't aware of Alpha Pro Series, which you probably are, considering this is number 178, it's basically best of 9. We pick the first map, and then loser picks. So right now Vindicta will get to choose the map, and he is going to pick Golden Wall. Now, SortOf does need just a second here while he is resetting his PC, so we are going to just wait a second for him. And you know, while we're waiting a second, guess what, guys? We have a Matcherino page for you. So we are gonna, after I get everybody into the lobby right here. Okay, so let me hop on over to that for you right. Okay, so you guys couldn't actually hear me there, but this is the page that you can join in on. And basically, up here is the prize pool currently. You can add the coupon code APS178. And what that'll do is that will add 50 cents to the pool. I'm going to sign in right there, and I hit the contribute button, and boom. We have up to 2015.
Well, make it 2065, because I just contributed as well, and so should you guys, to support those awesome players.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You also have some amazing quests that you can do, like your Twitter quests, your YouTube quests, surveys even. And there's just so many different ways that you can add to that prize pool. So, like, check it out. It's a really good way to support the players, and it really helps out everything that we do here at Alpha X.
And if you want to see how SortOf managed to get this win on the last map, for yourself. There is a replay pack open for purchase. It's only $3, so make sure you grab that one because that is definitely going to help your ZVT or TvZ.
Indeed, indeed. And you know what? That has given us just the right amount of time to hop into our next game on Golden Wall. Now, this is a fun kind of second pick for this series, you know? A lot of interesting games that you can get on this map.
I'm already super excited to see what Vindicta is going to pull out here. And well, let's get into introductions really quick. Spawning on the left side of the map Golden Wall, it's our blue Terran player representing Alpha X. It is Vindicta.
And his opponent on the other side of the map with a devastating first game here. He's sort of devastating for the Terran, by the way, guys. That's what I meant by that.
I guess that game was sort of oh my god, I can't even make jokes. Okay, let's see. Vindicta already going for the 2-Rex right here. So Vindicta not really looking for any late game matches on this map.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little bit before SortOf actually sees this, which just makes it a little bit harder to defend. You really want to kind of see it before these racks finish up. And here we go. First one is going to finish up, and this is the big thing right now. SortOf does see it.
How will he react? What is your favorite reaction?
He doesn't see it.
He doesn't see it?
There we go. He just barely saw it on the edge of his screen.
Oh my. You're giving me a heart attack right now, right there.
Oh, no, this is about to be a Zerg heart attack because you have a completely undefended natural right now. He's going to have to pull some drones, and there we go. Quite a few being pulled to defend against this bunker going up.
And that's really what you need to do right there, because when that bunker gets up and those Marines get into the bunker, the natural will be so in danger that even losing that mining time on the drones is definitely worth it.
And once again, here we go. Vindicta going to try again with only a couple of lings to defend, but the drones are pulled once again, and I think Vindicta might be falling a little bit in this cheese. The bunker will get taken out. The Marines are going to be pushed back, and while he does have the factory at home, he is going to have to macro hard to get out of this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The important thing to note is, though, that he indeed has that factory and the follow-up is already in planning. I'm curious what we are going to see, because lately we've been seeing a lot of battle cruisers this game around, though it doesn't look like it. Going for the command center right away, and those 2 Reapers, which are kind of cute.
Yeah, this is kind of just to help defend. It makes it a little bit easier to essentially kind of push this back, since these lings will not have speed for a little bit more time. So I really like this kind of move. And look at that. He's actually going to be able to clean most of this up with relative ease. I guess we could call it that. Behind this, we do have that second CC coming down. The Hellions as well going to really mesh with this double Reaper. And the racks are still slowly on their way home. So, you know, this kind of tells me we might be seeing mech here, just with how long it's going to take for those racks to get in.
Yeah. I think if we would have seen mech, I might have liked Vindicta. If we had seen mech, I would have liked Vindicta to scout with one of the barracks through SortOf's main base. Just fly through, see what he's up to, look look for some tech buildings. Maybe you can even hide one of the barracks in some spots in the main, just like SortOf is doing with his Zerglings right here.
Indeed, and it's looking like, oh no, the wall just barely gets up here. The Hellions going to be able to defend, but looks like SortOf might be going for a bit of an aggressive play. He's got that Baneling nest up nice and early. That kind of tells me, you know, at this timing, we might be seeing some sort of rush.
I'm curious if what he thinks Vindicta is doing right now, because he did not see the medivac yet, and I feel like those banelings might be for safety purpose to defend any kind of hellbat follow up that Vindicta could try to hit.
Yeah, but sort of already on top of things right now. And, you know, he's got really good map vision. Just right outside his opponent's base, he's got the common routes kind of figured out. And, you know, this medevac's not going to get too much done here. I think Vindicta would just be better off going into the front way and dealing with things there.
Yeah, I'm looking at the worker count right now, and SortOf is ahead by 21 workers. Let's keep in mind it's still Zerg economy, so this is kind of to be expected. Still, Vindicta super low in SCVs right now, and the Spire is coming for SortOf, so he will be looking to put on some pressure right here.
And, you know, the thing is, Vindicta doesn't actually have a third base on the way. So this kind of tells me we might be seeing a two-base. We'll probably be seeing it as two-base for quite a bit of time. I'm loving this move right now. He is just going to try and hit SortOf where he's least expecting it. Towards his towards this base, you do have a very nice siege position that is blocked off by the minerals. And, you know, SortOf not really seeing too much. He doesn't see any of
No, not
this.
really. I wonder if that Zergling is even seeing anything right there, because he's just looking at the corner, not really sure what he's supposed to do there.
Yeah, Vindicta. Yeah, he sees it. And the thing is, none of this is actually picked away at. Just now, SortOf is going to try and deal with it. But is it too late? Because now, Vindicta is set up in position.
Okay, so something important for SortOf to do right here is take down those medivacs. Those will prevent any further lifts into the main base, and also take away the vision onto the high ground for Vindicta, which will make this defense so much easier. He already chipped at those medivacs quite a bit, and Vindicta, seeing that he won't be able to do any more damage, will just retreat right here, but SortOf going for the flank with his army. I think that army is too small to kill everything Vindicta has there.
Way too small, especially when you have the Hellions in the front to kind of soak that damage. And, you know, we did have a small drop go up there. It did get taken out, but it did get 2 drones as well, so that was pretty nice. But Vindicta, for the first time, heading on to creep, and he is going to start cleaning a lot of army up here, but SortOf does clean up once again, and we're going to be heading back to the NA server with a 2-0 score.
Let's see if Vindicta can bring it back. This next match is super important, so everybody in the chat, make sure to cheer for him. Give him your energy, because getting into a series is just about getting that first victory. If you're down 2-0 and you get that victory, you are you are feeling so much better. You're suddenly thinking, okay, I can do this, no problem. But if you go down 3-0, the 4-0, and eventually the 5-0 might follow right away.
And now we are just waiting for Vindicta to come on back, and there he is once again. And now, ooh, you know, you were talking about this one earlier, small map, and we all are going to be living on a yellow submarine, guys.
Hey, the Beatles reference.
Well, I've been making way too many Linkin Park references recently, so I gotta even it out a little bit, you know?
But in the end, it doesn't even matter.
That is the exact one. I have used that in pretty much every single cast I have done.
But it's such a good one as well.
Yeah. Your fart life, right? In game?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Sorry for doxing you.
No problem. Some of my friends told me to change my name on the NA server to Black One as well. But I just love Fart Life as a name so much.
Well, you know what you could do is if you had an account on the Southeast Asia server, you can actually have both. Like I have Passer on the main server, and that's what I'm using right now. But I also have my Southeast Asian one as a different name, and you just choose which one when you log in.
Right, I still have one account left for the NA server then. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And now, speaking of amazing, spawning up here in the top, he is the Red Terran Terror. He is Vindicta.
And the blue Zerg spawning in the bottom right corner, looking to make it 3-0. It is SortOf. So Vindicta not really going for that proxy Rex on this map.
You know, I think when it doesn't work once, you have to just kind of give up on it for the time being and try it again maybe later on in the series. But
or you go full ham and decide to go 3 Rex on the next map.
Exactly, there you go. No, you know what? There is no in between. You can only have an even number of Raxes, so it's either 2 racks or 4 racks. There is no 3 racks anymore. Byun, he is a little bit sad that that's the case, but you know what? There are no more 3 Raxes anymore.
Oh, my Terran heart bleeds every time I hear something like that. Okay, let's see what Vindicta is looking to play on this map. So far, everything looks pretty standard. The real question will be when he decides to add that second gas. If he's going for a fast third command center, or if he's just going to get the second gas right away with the factory and go for a quick starport and some quick liberator or Benjis. We see the second gas, so no quick third command center. Getting the deny, the slight deny on the third base is really nice for Vindicta though.
You know, just kind of looking at this map, does it remind you of a Heart of the Swarm map that kind of had this same third base location, except the third base was walled off? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not sure. If you have a name, I'm probably remembering, but as of right now...
This is going to bother me for the rest of the cast, everyone. So, like, Game 7, we're going to, you're just going to hear me go, that's the map. And,
oh, was it a high ground natural expand, though?
Yes.
Was it Achelan Wastes, then?
That might be the one. But anyway, speaking about wastes, we have these Roach Warrens looking to waste their opponents.
5 Roaches already on the way. And I see Hellions in the production tab, and that's not really something you want to see right there. If you're supporting Vindicta, the starport has been delayed by so much for that quick
Oh
third
no.
command center.
Sort of, though. He makes a bit of a blunder. He gets this revealed when these really slow units gonna be hobbling across the map. This will give him plenty of time to react, and he's already got the siege tank on the way. Will it be enough, though? Because we should be seeing some biles pretty darn soon.
Okay, two bunkers are coming up. This is what you need to defend this. We only have 3 Marines right here, and the Ravages and Roaches are coming in to take down the Terran bases. The first files are landing on that bunker. Some SCVs will be denied. The second bunker will not finish, but the first one should definitely.
Yeah, cleaning up the bunker that finishes as well. This is already really good damage for SortOf for quite a small investment. He's already up to 40 workers, droning up heavily behind this. And Vindicta, now he's going to be on the back foot for quite a bit of time. No high ground vision, however, so that siege tank going to get some nice free shots off.
Gets a Ravager right there. And if I'm being honest, losing those 10 SCVs, it hurts, don't get me wrong. But he has triple orbital command behind this. So he's still in this. Don't write him off yet.
Not
he
yet.
can still take this.
Definitely not yet. You know, he had a bit of a stumble versus SortOf in this series so far, but he still is a really good Terran player, and he has shown us that his aggression can make miracles happen. Behind this, once again, we're going to be seeing Bio. Just not a fan of mech in this series. Might be seeing it later on, but for right now, he's just going with the tried and true method of dealing with Zerg.
Okay, so we see a layer coming for SortOf. I am most certain that this is for some Mutalisks, because we do not have any upgrades going yet. The first evolution chambers were just thrown down and additional gases added, so come on, give me that Spire.
Just waiting to drop it down, you know. Oh, actually, he is going for Roach speed.
Oh, that's
Very
interesting.
Yeah, he might actually be sticking with Roaches here.
Do you like the choice of Roaches?
For the early game, yes, but once those Terran units start getting the upgrades, they just really scale way too high for Roaches to actually be worth it. So Roaches, I would say, are a good early to mid-game unit, but then you really need to switch off of them so quickly in the later stages of the game just to stay in it.
I completely agree. For the really early game, Roaches are amazing because they are so beefy and they 3-shot Marines without combat shields. But once those Marauders start appearing, the combat shield is added to the Marines. It just gets so hard for Roaches to do anything, and they just bloat your supply so much.
Oh yeah, already though, SortOf gonna get supply blocked here, losing the Overlord, and Vindicta just gonna hop around this base here, try and clear up some of their creep, maybe go in and get a couple of kills, but for right now, you know, he's got to kind of keep SortOf on his side of the map, even if it's just with small drops.
I would love to see him going for even more drops, because what he needs to do right here is buy himself the time to get that upgrade lead going, to get his macro going, because he did have the fast third command center. So his economy is looking fine right now with only a 5-worker deficit, but the army supply for SortOf is almost doubling that of Vindicta, so Vindicta really needs to keep SortOf's army at home and defending.
Oh yeah, and here we go once again. drops and a small attack in the front to clear up the creep. This is exactly the kind of moves you were saying, Black One. We need to see more of that. Almost getting the spawning pool even. That would have been hilarious.
Oh, sort of moving in at the third base location. The Ravage is so bulky though that they block each other, and the Zergling's not really getting on top of those tanks immediately. A lot of tanks falling to the bars though, and is Vindicta able to hold this, or is sort of just going to run over everything?
I'm not sure. So far, Vindicta has done a good job of pulling away his workers and sort of actually starting to lose workers and bases. One base going down, the second falls, so Vindicta giving as much damage as he's taken. An excellent counterplay there.
And keep in mind, SortOf did not lift those hatches like Vindicta did. No, he lost them for real. And losing those two hatches puts him down to two bases. That means less lava to work with, less income to work with, and Vindicta really getting a lot out of those counter aggression drops. Now the forces for SortOf are once again trying to push in there, and a nice run by in the natural. So Vindicta will be forced to drop back and give up the location at his third base.
Yeah, this time he doesn't have any counter damage, losing 14 stacked up workers. Those biles were absolutely nasty. And yeah, getting 14 damage is just going to say to SortOf that he is going to back on off.
I think this is a smart call, because SortOf did manage to do quite a lot of damage. Now that one Liberator is going to force all of the Ravages back, really?
Yeah. Oh, that's never supposed to happen.
No. Imagine though if the Liberator would have baited those bars into the Overlord and supply blocked SortOf.
That would have been beautiful. Just as beautiful as this push once again. Gonna go for the hatch. Gets it. Picks on up. And now he can really just kind of rotate between this location. Keep canceling that hatch while also trying to put pressure on in the natural. And look at that, even a third one, a fourth one starting up. There's so many drops coming through.
Yeah, Vindicta really putting on the pressure right now, and he has to, since his economy was taking quite a lot of shots and fires in the fights before at his third base. Now SortOf is going for the surround on this army of Vindicta, and the drops should be saved immediately. Nice pickup there by Vindicta. Still loses one drop at the bottom location. The second drop will be attacked as well and forced to get right out of there. And another Liberator coming in for some harassment.
Yeah, Vindicta all over the place. Finally, the supplies starting to tell a decent story for him. Queen's not in position, but the biles are going to be enough. The drop, however, just going to come in here while SortOf has pulled his entire army away, not really paying attention there. And once again, Vindicta getting 9 drones that now have to be replaced. Vindicta has, look at this. While he's just so far ahead in terms of that income advantage.
Not only that, his upgrades are looking really nice as well. He has a super sophisticated army with those tanks and the Liberators. He has Marines and Marauders to support those tanks, and now he's looking to push across the map. And let me tell you something, Submarine has some nasty tank positions.
I see them right there. Looks like SortOf is going to try and get on top of them, but the siege tanks are so nicely spread out that they're going to just get some really nice shots off. And half of SortOf's army is actually on the other side of the map. He's going to have to F2 it all the way back home.
Now those tank positions are being taken, and sort of not really able to engage into this. Even though he has some creep over here, he should be looking to go for a big surround or anything really. Nice little run by at the in between the bases. One tank to rule them all though will drive everything back.
Yeah, now keep in mind, if SortOf is able to defend this, he is going to have those very high tier units out. It's just looking very dicey for him as he can't get those biles to essentially do what he wants. Most of the drop actually cleaned up there, and the Ultras able to kill off the Marines. So that is a very nice pickup for SortOf. And once again, he's going to be coming in here, blinding clouds. Not going to get all of the tanks just because there are so many of them. But he will clean up that position and once again take that supply lead.
Getting those Vipers out was crucial, not only to defend against those tanks and the push at the third base, but also to completely deny the drop in the main base. He took down 3 medivacs. All of them had units in them. And the few units that managed to get out of them before they exploded were just eaten up by one really hungry Ultralist.
Yeah, and there we go. Once again, this position is under fire. 7 more workers going down. Vindicta's economy starting to falter a little bit. We do have, once again, another drop going to be going towards this location, but SortOf is starting to fight back. He's already on top of it. He's already on top of the other one as well, albeit with not enough forces to deal with it. One thing to note is that you don't actually have +2 attack for those Lings, so they're not going to be doing as much damage as they necessarily should. I feel like if he had those kind of upgrades, he would be able to deal with this a little bit easier. But yeah, now, like we were saying, he's going off of the Roaches, going back to Lings, and even adding in a couple of Ultras to deal with this. Oh, those Banelings, come on. You saw that.
Oh no, Vindicta, look at your drop! Yes! The Baneling nerf did something!
Yeah, Marauder actually doing some pretty good work.
Oh, please tell me that Marauder is getting some drone kills as well. I love that Marauder so much. No! That one drone, you could have killed it!
Look at this reposition. Vindicta also on this other location. He is going to be taking out as many drones as possible before going down. He's just going insane with these drops here. I think SortOf is in a lot of trouble, honestly, even though he is maxed out and going for another big push.
Oh, that third base location once again under siege. The Vipers will be immediately EMP'd, and now the Ultralisk should be sniped as well. The 5th base location is under attack as well and will most likely fall because those command centers really don't move too fast.
Oh, got a couple of Lings beneath that as well, but once again, he is almost completely maxed out. Vindicta, he still has a very scary army, and you can tell he means business with it as he's going to be moving across the map onto creep once again.
Vindicta has to make something work right here. He is down in workers. He's also down in army supply, but a lot of this army deals super high amounts of damage. The Ultralisks do not have +3 melee attack upgrades yet. They will be there in a few seconds though, so Vindicta really has to make sure he is not getting surrounded. Leaving those tanks there unprotected might not be the play you are looking for. A nice surround by SortOf coming from all the angles, but the Marines and tanks are just shredding through SortOf's army.
It's looking pretty dicey for SortOf right now as his army is completely pushed back. He doesn't have adrenal glands. He doesn't have +3 cracklings. he only has what he has, and sort of starting to fall in supply once again, completely relying on those Lings to push it back. But I think Vindicta is looking to close it out with a couple quick spell swoops.
Quick fell swoops or quick fell snipes, because those Ultralisks were the backbone and the tanks of SortOf's army, but they fell so quick. Catching all the tanks on siege though is a nice way to start off the fight. The Marines are splitting super nice. The Banding's not getting the best connect, but will it be enough either way? It looks like it.
Yeah, actually looks like SortOf will be able to hold on but for how long? Vindicta up in supply. He is pumping out units like it's no tomorrow, like they're going out of style. And SortOf, you know, he's got to get back on those injects. He doesn't really have enough larva to re-max himself every single time.
Vindicta is going for another drop onto that location at the... What is it? Is it the 2 o'clock location for SortOf?
I believe it's more like 6, but good enough.
Oh no, in the top right corner where all the drones are falling. One really beefy Ultralisk will take care. Now the army of Vindicta is getting pushed back once again. That Medivac should not fall. Oh my god, that hurt so much.
That was terrible.
Okay, let's see what SortOf can do. He's once again forcing a liftoff of this 5th base. And
Yeah,
that's...
the 5th base is not a planetary either, so Vindicta's really going to have to pay attention to it. This game is just insane.
That's what I was talking about earlier when I said, well, with those two players playing as aggressive as they have been showing us on Everdream, Submarine is just going to be a blast, and we are looking at a really nice game. Vindicta needs to split really good, and he does indeed. The Banelings did not get any connects in. A lot of circlings died immediately, and SortOf going to is looking to take the really aggressive expand right there.
Yeah, and here we go, Vindicta. I think this, if he's careful, might actually be the last push that he needs to close things out. Just slowly bringing a couple units forward to kind of deal with this. And already back at home, he has plenty of siege tanks. He has plenty of those reinforcements just hanging out. Even this one Marauder just looking for the kill, but it's not going to get it. But anyway, Vindicta currently up over 40 army supply. Gonna clean up one of the bases, and I think, you know, we might actually see a tap out here soon if he's not able to clear these two positions.
No, so Vindicta really putting on the pressure in multiple locations. This location looks really hard to break as well with all of those siege tanks. SortOf manages to take them down, but now Vindicta's main army is closing in, and well, let's put it this way, when the sun is shining red in the morning, or how's that Lord of the Rings?
I don't know. I
Quote.
don't look at nerd things.
Wasn't it something like in the morning when the sun is glowing red, you can expect me or something, and then Gandalf comes in with a huge army and they manage to win the Battle of Helm's Klamm. Or Helm's Deep it is.
I
English.
have no idea. All right.
You never watched Lord of the Rings?
I have never seen Lord of the Rings because I watched like 20 minutes of it on an airplane, but we were about to land, so they turned it off. That's about as far as I got.
What a dick move! You really need to watch those movies. They're so good.
All right, so now it is SortOf's choice, and he's on his home server now, so he should have a little bit of a few good games in him. You know, we still have Death Aura, Eternal Empire, and some of the other ones. I haven't actually had a chance to look at a lot of these yet, but Ice and Chrome, Pillars of Aura, Death Aura. It's like, who has come up with these names?
Oh, I don't know. I'm always looking at maps and I'm like, okay, like for Ice and Chrome, the ice part, I get it. The Chrome part, not quite. Why is it not Ice and Stone?
I
But
have no idea.
like some of those map makers are just too creative for their own good.
That's exactly what I was thinking there. Actually, something happened in chat. What happened here? Oh, so apparently we were ranked #1 for many silent users ranking. Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, but anyway,
I'll
you know
take
what?
any first place.
Yeah, well, you know what else is pretty nice? This guy up here, he is sort of.
And the one who just got himself a series. It is the Red Terran player. It is Vindicta. Okay, so Lord of the Rings is not your kind of nerdy genre.
Man, I've already got to deal with knowing all of the lore of StarCraft 2, and that is exhausting enough as it is.
Okay, I give you that. I never played the campaign, so you get that one.
Oh no, I know way more than just the campaign. Like I know all the extended lore, all the extra lore, all the retconned lore. I'm lying about that, but you know what? Nobody's gonna call my bluff.
So you read the books as well, all the comics, and you've probably seen every little animation series there has been, especially the cardboard ones.
Oh yeah, Carbot. No, I actually haven't seen the finale of that. I need to go back and watch that. It's just one of those things. It's like when you want to watch something, you automatically just get so lazy and forget to watch it.
Yeah, I know that feeling. But cardboard animations has always been something special for me. I always go back to some of those episodes and just look at them, and I feel like I feel 16 again, starting up StarCraft for the first time.
You know,
It's so amazing.
You know, the funny thing is, I think Vindicta is like 0 for 3 for blocking the third hatch. Like
He always tries.
he tries, but he picks the wrong location every single time. He did get the drone for a couple seconds in the last game, but I think he went to the other one first with the SCV.
Oh my god. Okay, but I have to give him that much. It's hard to block those third hatcheries on the new maps because there is always that alternative location for your third base to be placed, and then the Zerg just decides, okay, your SCV is going to the right. Well, my drone is going to the left. What are you going to do now?
Well, you know, I actually really like that about this pool. Just so many different alternatives so that you're not kind of shoehorned into one expansion location. It's actually really nice as some of the map pools that we've seen, you know, they've kind of been, you know, kind of like that. You're forced to take one base or you die. You're forced to do this one thing or you die. The variety is just so nice.
I agree. Variety makes the games. I'm a little sad that Purity in the Industry didn't make it to the to this map pool because I would have loved to see some more games because we just didn't see any. What was the last Purity in the Industry match you've seen?
True versus the other guy like a week ago.
Kivian?
It was either no, it was like No, it was a who was it?
Hmm.
I don't know. It was someone, but we did see Purity and Industry on that one, and True was very fun in that one as well. But yeah, we do see sort of gonna get up to that lair tech once again. That a little bit of an earlier Baneling pool, both for defense and for aggression. And you know, you were looking for battle cruisers. Guess what we got on the way?
I love me some spicy fusion core add-ons. Oh man, get those battle cruisers out and flying and shooting. Pew pew pew.
There we go. Oh, yeah. And what I love about this, he's actually going for roaches. And now this is his train of thought here. Okay, roaches. They have one very bad disability. They can't shoot up. That is pretty debilitating for them versus battle cruisers. But they shoot everything else, and they absolutely decimate at this stage in the game. So a ton of roaches this early on is going to be very nice to see go across the map for SortOf. Vindicta, though, doing a really nice job of kind of clearing up the creep.
He is looking for bio follow-up after this as well. Sim is being researched, additional barracks coming in, as well as the engineering base, which are already finished. +1/+1 upgrades have been started. And what do you think? Do you like SortOf's position right now with the bio follow-up, or is it more a Vindicta choice for you?
I mean, this does mean that Vindicta is going to be able to attack much, much quicker, just because those Marines and bio does get out much faster. But, you know, I think SortOf's played it a little bit too passively here. When you see that it's battle cruisers, you need to kind of go across and do stuff like this. You just need to kind of pull his units away from the third base, do a little poking damage, pull the Hellions back, and kind of, yeah, those are the kind of moves that you need to make here. Oh, we do see Mutalisks on the production tab to deal with the battle cruiser, which is okay. But yeah, this is not looking too good for SortOf in terms of decisions made.
Yeah, I think he wasn't necessarily expecting the bio follow-up. Went for the roaches to get something that would prevent any Halberd or Hellion aggression by Vindicta. But now with those roaches, he's just looking at some dead supply, which is going to be cleaned up by Hellions, funnily enough.
Yeah, just the Marines in the back doing way too much. And yeah, you know, SortOf, he's still ahead in supply. He's still got a pretty healthy economy. And the Mutalisks actually did clean up that battle cruiser, so we won't be seeing any more of that. But now, Vindicta is just on the warpath, and all you have is Mutas and slow Lings.
And this is a horrible thing if you decide to go for a different third base location, because this fourth base is so vulnerable to tank pushers. The tank locations are beautiful right there. The centrifugal hooks upgrade just finished, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough against this many tanks and Marines. The splits are beautiful, but in the end, SortOf manages to clean everything up that Vindicta had to offer, and SortOf is now looking at a 30 supply lead.
Yeah, one of the big things is he did spend a lot of units to clean that. He has a nice mineral bank, however, kind of throwing that into Mutalisks, which is pretty nice if you can get up to that critical mass with upgrades. But just got to remember not to engage like that and lose them. You need to get that Mutaball up, because the thing is, with this strategy, you are going to be on lair tech for such a long time. You just don't have the gas to go up to Hive anytime soon.
Okay, so Vindicta is not adding any additional SCVs, even though he's only at 59. He did not start a fourth base neither. Gets a lot of those banelings denied. The nice run by SortOf will be caught in the end by Vindicta's Marines, but it still forced Vindicta back a little bit and gave SortOf just enough time to morph some additional banelings.
Just slow down. That's all he needs right now. Trying to get a baneling run by, not going to work like that. But now, just a big old push here from SortOf to pull this back. Vindicta, he's got some decent splits, but the tanks going down, and now SortOf can just retreat to the creep. Vindicta's reinforcements going for the Lings in the top position, which is pretty nice.
I agree. Something SortOf has been so good at in the last few series is catching his Terran opponent unsieged. If we remember back to Submarine, those tanks were unsieged so often whenever SortOf engaged. He had those Lings on top of him. They just morphed a second too late, and then the fight went decent, if not even well, for SortOf. So he could trade well even though he was down in upgrades.
Bleeding out a couple of Mutalisks here, which is always a little bit of trouble. But I'm liking this position. Unfortunately, it's seen by the sensor tower, so Vindicta will be able to be in position for that. Muta's kind of just dancing around. We're finally going to see that Hive Tech come up at 11 minutes.
3-3 on the way for Vindicta. Meanwhile, we only see +2 attack for those Mutalisks. The Hive is being morphed. Is it morphed or
that's right.
Evolved?
Same thing.
Same thing?
I don't know. I don't speak English, man. It's only my first language.
I watched a Hassan video lately, and he was like, man, English is a really disgusting language to speak. Because there's so many rules and so many words you can use that basically mean the same thing, but in the end they don't.
Yeah, we pretty much just mug other languages for grammar rules and stuff. It's hilarious. But yeah, you know what SortOf does? He mugs the units that are trying to defend. We've got a small push over here by Vindicta, just getting cleaned up by SortOf, and Vindicta once again just forced back because he can't move out at his fourth base either. So overall, just SortOf taking really heavy on that map presence, even getting that creep slowly but surely into Vindicta.
Oh, those Widow Mines, make sure they don't hit your Marines, because your Marines are just as squishy as those Zerglings. Well, maybe not as squishy, but they get close.
Indeed, indeed. But, you know, the thing is, Vindicta, he's still trying to push out. He's still trying to clear creep. And I think at this point, SortOf starting to kind of hit that critical mass of Zerg, where he can just replenish so easily.
All SortOf has been building in the last couple of minutes is Banelings. Banelings and Zerglings. He never had to replace those Mutalisks. He never had to replace any drones. He has just been building Banelings, and he will have so many Banelings when he rolls into Vindicta's army. First of all, Vindicta is going to get that hedge snipe though, and push that creep back just a little bit. I'm still worried about that one corridor leading to Vindicta's fourth base, which is quite open at that point. The Mutalisks are going for the fourth base. Are there no Widow Mines to defend it?
Nope, all the Widow Mines are in the front to deal with the Banelings. Looks like Vindicta was trying to kind of bait him into those mines, but the Mutas now have free range of that location. And Vindicta, keep in mind, he doesn't have a 5th base up, and here we go. Once again, he's sort of just getting such nice damage.
Vindicta cannot afford to lose those units, neither can he afford to lose any SCVs, and he has been doing both. Not really by his own choice, but he still lost them sadly, and now he's down to 53 workers. The Mutalisks get a nice shot off that Widow Mine. I hope that was worth it.
Yeah, he's
and
starting
then, oh my
oh,
god.
God. Yeah, that was kind of GG for those Mutalisks there.
That was beautiful.
And the thing is, he's sticking with it, you know? He's got 7 more on the production tab. He's not really transitioning out of this. If it ain't broke, don't fix it right now is his mantra.
Yeah,
and he's kind of just starting to whittle him down.
He's also adding in those Ultralisks, and we don't have any tech to counter them. We don't have Ghosts, we don't have Liberators. The only thing that we have are Marauders, and if you have this many Zerglings and Banelings, just like SortOf does, I'm not sure if that's the fight you're looking for as Vindicta now pulling everything back into the Widow Mines, but the Banelings are rolling in now, and the army of Vindicta will just be surrounded. He's now trying to focus fire down all those Banelings, but there are still Mutalisks and Ultralisks left, and I think we are looking at a GG right here.
I think the big thing is Vindicta was losing reinforcements quite heavily. This 5th base might go down as well. It depends on the repair, but it doesn't even matter because 36 workers left in this game. More are going to be falling here pretty soon. And there we go, sort of back to a 3-1 lead. That was some play. All right, you know the drill, guys. We've got, that was game number 4. So, game number 5, we got about 3 maps left in the pool before it goes off. And I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
So all of you, while we are waiting for the next map, make sure to get onto that Matcherino page. The link is posted up there in the chat. Get in there. If the if the coupons are not yet used up, use them, because it all goes towards our players. If you want to see those replays, and I assure you those replays are worth seeing, make sure to get onto Matcherino, get the $3 replay pack. It will help your TvZ or ZVT. That much I can assure you.
And we also got to ask you guys a very big question. What are you drinking right now? Whatever it is, stop. Because if it isn't G Fuel, the drink of esports, it isn't worth drinking. G Fuel ramps up your energy from 0 to 100 really fast. It sharpens your focus so you can keep your eye on the prize. It increases your endurance as well, because as we know, gaming is a marathon, not a sprint. And lastly, G Fuel hydrates you so that your only thirst is for victory. So G Fuel, the official drink of esports. Stay hydrated, my friends.
Make sure to drink that good stuff.
Oh yeah, I got bubblegum right there, one of their new flavors. And it's a really good flavor. And it really just kind of gives you that energy without making you kind of groggy. It doesn't have a lot of sugar in it. So it's just kind of a nice alternative to all these high sugar, high, you know, kind of energy drinks that we see nowadays.
Sadly I missed the chance to get any from as we partnered with them, and lately I've been too lazy to order any, but I'm so curious how they taste and if they will take my game to another level.
Honestly,
I've been seeing the doc himself, Dr. Disrespect, going for them as well. So firm handshakes.
Honestly, dude, this isn't even because of their sponsorship. Like, I actually recommend this to all my friends off stream as well. It's just so good. I really enjoy it, and it's got so many, so many different flavors. It's really just a good overall energy drink. But you know what? You guys didn't come here to hear me harp about energy drinks. You came here to watch these guys. Down here in the bottom position of Pillars of Gold, it is SortOf.
And Alpha Axis, Terran player looking to bring it back in this series. It is Vindicta.
You know, the big thing about Vindicta is he has not been going quietly into the night in any of these games. He has been so heavy-handed in his approaches, and he has just done such a fantastic job of keeping SortOf on his toes, making him work for every single inch of creep that he spreads out on the map.
I cannot imagine Vindicta to be somebody you want to play against. Even if you are favored, his style is just so in your face that if you slip up even slightly, he will just pounce on you and get the damage in he needs to manage to get the match. And we have seen this by SortOf. He has been looking really good sometimes, but other times he just didn't quite get the last click in to defend his hatchery or defend his drone line, and that's when Vindicta really shines because he just puts on so much pressure.
Indeed, indeed, and looks like that SCV got some G Fuel of his own because he is just getting a nice scout around here. Just sees that nothing's really going on for SortOf. He's just kind of confirming that it was indeed a hatch first, so nothing crazy going to be coming out. He does get it right this time, but he's a little bit late to the block.
I wonder which base you want to take as the Zerg player in ZVT on this map, because you have the decision between the low ground base and the high ground base. Yet in PvZ, what I heard of Harston and his videos, because that's the only source of StarCraft knowledge I have, is that as a Zerg player, you are looking to take the bottom location. I'm not quite sure why that is. I imagine that in PvZ, force fields are just way too strong on that third base location at the high ground. In TvZ though, if you go for that bottom location, you're just so open to early tank pushes.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing. Like, whenever you're expanding, especially on these new maps, you need to be wary of where your opponent can position his tanks, where he can kind of move around, and how he can position himself. I think the third base where he got it is pretty good as well, just because it's a really short distance to kind of rotate around and defend, especially when you get that creep spread in the mid game where it just gets insane. Yeah, and I think this is better for a fourth base, because once you start to get those high amount of lings and you start to kind of get to that position where you can just remax, those open ground fights are so much better for you.
When looking at the creep spread you were talking about just now, I realized SortOf did something so cute when he placed the creep. And it's natural that one creep tumor gave just enough creep for the queens to run to the third base.
Nice.
It was like a queen-sized corridor just for just for them to go to that third base, and that is so cute. I wonder if that was actually something he looked at in the map, on the map before when he was looking at it for the first time and thought, "Hey, I can do this. This one little trick to get my queens to the third base even faster, and then just profit of it."
Yeah, and you know, he's going to be looking to profit off this Banshee as well. This has been scouted by SortOf, so he does have the Spore Crawlers in position. But it's really kind of that 1-2 punch that Terran is so well known for. You come in with the Banshees in one location, and then you set up for the Hellions in another. Does not look like the Hellions are actually going to be in position to deal with this just yet. But already, you know, SortOf able to clear this up.
Vindicta losing the Banshee there, that really hurts. And now SortOf finds himself in a really good position. He's up 11 supply. His worker count has not been touched too much. I think he lost 2 drones so far. And, well, Vindicta on the other hand is just now claiming his third base. He is looking to go into bio once again, but the creep spread of SortOf is just going places already.
Indeed, indeed. And look at that, the Queens still have their range, so they are able to clean up that location. But SortOf, he's not content to kind of just sit around and do nothing. He's already got these little run-bys, sorry about that, guys, but small little run-bys out on the map ready to go. And what this allows him to do is it allows him to spread out and kind of keep that map presence, force Vindicta to remain close to home. Although I don't think Vindicta's really going to hang out with that, as he is already out on the map looking to go for a nice big push. I really wish he would have waited for the armory, though, or have gotten the armory a little bit quicker, because then he could just turn these into Hellbats and they soak so much damage.
They don't only soak so much damage, they deal so much damage as well. 2 Zerglings. Now he's just fighting with Hellions, which is nice if you're looking to run away from Zerglings. Ooh. The Zerglings get a small surround onto the army of Vindicta. The forces will be pushed back though, but at which price? The counterattack by SortOf has been huge.
Yeah, I think SortOf is going to clean this up, and this is actually really good damage, like you were saying. 8 workers going down, delays the reinforcements a little bit. A couple of these Hellbats still doing some nice work here, but he's running out of energy on these medevacs, and he doesn't really have too many of those left. It's all going to be down to, can Vindicta break this position? If he can, then this game is pretty much over.
I love the micro here by SortOf. He moves in with those Banelings onto the tank to not get any additional hits onto them, and manages to push back Vindicta's forces. Once again, we are looking at a game where it's just back and forth action. We saw the run by SortOf, and now we are seeing the next push by Vindicta, and he's clearing up creep. He needs to do some damage. He just took too much worker damage before. The next run by is closing in on his third base, and with those Hydras, I think SortOf is able to defend this quite well.
Yeah, the big thing is this run by forced the reinforcements to go home and defend against that. So while it didn't get too much damage done, it did kind of slow the attack of Vindicta. And while Vindicta, almost wasting a couple of too many Banelings on that rock position. But yeah, overall now SortOf just opening up all these different little avenues. He's doing a really good job of just slowing down everything that Vindicta's doing. And now we might be seeing a bit of a falter if Vindicta continues to attack. Oh yeah,
Oh my
almost losing
god.
that medevac.
Oh my god, all those Marines in there are shaking right now. And the next run by is closing in. It's only Banelings right now. But there sure as hell will be another follow-up. There are Banelings in position, only clearing up those small walls. Oh, it's actually Zerglings. Never mind then.
Yeah,
Make
trying
it
to.
Banelings.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. Oh my gosh, this is so oversaturated.
Oh my god, he's going to drive right into the Banelings. He sees them now. Marines are already on the way, but the drop on... Oh my
They're late.
god, there are so many Banelings!
Oh no. Now keep
He's
in
just
mi-
using them as reinforcements right now.
This is crazy, and this fourth base I think is gonna have some trouble getting up here. Vindicta gonna pull out his entire army, so SortOf will back off. So that's pretty good for SortOf right now, because he's going up to Hive Tech. He's almost maxed out. Just a couple more waves, and he will be completely maxed out on a very scary force. The upgrades not as good as they should be in terms of that attack, so these Hydralisks not going to be doing as much damage as they should. But here we go. SortOf kind of just fighting off of creep for right now, but half his army is going around for the surround.
Oh, we saw a big stim by Vindicta before the fight even started, and this drains the Medivacs of their energy even more. I don't think he wants to stim so much more often, really. The wall in the natural will be broken down, and the Lynx and Hydras and Banelings are closing in. SortOf is just doing such a good job of just denying pressure of Vindicta by putting on some pressure himself. As it's said, the best defense is a good offense.
Indeed, indeed. And I think the big thing is now these siege tanks gonna have to be very careful where they siege up, because you've got Vipers in the mix as well. So a couple good yoinks, a couple good blinding clouds, and they are gonna be very short on this world. Oh. Vindicta only getting +3 attack right now. I don't think he can afford the armor tech. That's gonna hurt him a little bit.
In the long run, it most likely will. He's now trying to push into SortOf once again, but SortOf has been setting up those run-bys all the time. The next one is already in place, and I'm not sure if those tanks and Marines are going to be enough to hold everything. Maybe they will, maybe those Zerglings.
Well, the big thing is he's picking off these siege tanks. Those are pretty much the reinforcements for this push of Vindicta, and don't get us wrong, this is still a very scary army, but it can be whittled down with just massive amounts of Lings that are on the way, especially if they're in the back like that and completely undefended.
I don't even think SortOf needs this base right here. SortOf will just give it away. He needs to make sure that those tanks will not advance any further, because if they do, the high ground position at that 5th base of SortOf may hurt a lot. But the next run by here set up by SortOf, and Vindicta is just defending all the time. His reinforcements never really able to approach that main army, and those are so many Banelings. Oh my god.
Oh my god, SortOf's got 59 Banelings. That's actually so close to the amount of Marines here. He can pretty much trade for that. But I think he's about to pounce on this army. Vindicta already has a pretty nice spread here, and now that half of SortOf's army is up here defending this base. I think this is the time for Vindicta to strike.
I think he needs to right now, and he's already moving his Marines a little bit more forward. But he's just so caught up with those run-bys on the left side of the map, closing into his natural. The Lynx get on top of those tanks once again, and the Hydralisks will do the rest to do to deal some damage. +3 melee attack upgrade is done now, and SortOf is closing in.
Oh, even that siege tank doing a little bit of friendly fire here. Now, unlike previous games, Vindicta does have a pretty healthy medevac count, so that is going to help him out. Look at that, SortOf. So confident he is just pushing those mainlings through. But Vindicta is going to start bleeding out for money here as he can't get this base established. Those lings just do so much damage with +3 and the crack upgrade, as I like to call it.
Okay, so what I would love to see of SortOf is go for a big flank, because only engaging through that choke point right there might not be enough. The Ultralisks are now on their way to that 5th base location of Vindicta, and oh my god, if you're the Vindicta, you're like, you can afford to give me 5 Ultralisks to take down my 5th base? What are you doing?
And on top of that, SortOf's going to be in a different location as well, just cleaning up the siege tanks. A couple of blinding clouds trying to mitigate the damage here, but that's going to be enough. SortOf goes up to match point. And you know what, guys? We got some awesome sponsors today who can help put you up to match point as well. So I need to tell you about our sponsor, Manscaped. Now, we weren't allowed to do a demo for this one for very obvious reasons, but Father's Day's right around the corner, and our new sponsor, Manscaped, has the perfect gift to give or receive. Their state-of-the-art line of grooming products features skin-safe technology to practically eliminate nicks or scratches, and has new, easily replaceable blades to ensure you always getting perfect shaves. Manscaped has other equally as innovative grooming products for men's, like their anti-chafing deodorant and body wash, so your below-deck areas get their special treatments. Make sure to click on Manscaped's sponsor quest and use code Macherino on checkout to get 20% off on manscaped.com. And thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this event.
Oh my god. Okay, Vindicta calling the next map, and it is going to be Eternal Empire. And if there's a macro map, it sure as hell is Eternal Empire. Because that Eternal is not in there for fun.
Oh, I agree with that sentiment. We are going to be seeing, and this is really playing to both of these players' just skills. We've been seeing these games go for a long time. We are currently 1.5 hours into this series. So that kind of tells you just how powerful this stuff is.
Oh my god.
Also, guys, just remember to hydrate.
Keep hydrated. It's good for you. Can you drink tap water in the US? I'm expecting you to live in the US.
Of course you can. Why would, unless you live in Michigan, but that's another story.
Because I lived in South Korea for a year, and everybody just told me, don't drink the tap water.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, no. I actually go to the Philippines a lot, and the thing I spend the most money on is actually bottled water, because you cannot drink it. But
it's just so full of chloride. It's insane. Well, but another thing that is insane is the pressure that this blue Terran player can put onto his opponents. It is the Alpha X very own Vindicta.
And this guy down here, he's got some of the best tap water in the world for Europe. He is SortOf.
Man, I never realized you can look through the bottom of the main base. I just realized that, like right beneath the hatchery or the command center, you can look beneath it because it's like
Oh yeah,
a
it's glass.
Yeah.
Nice.
I played this map like at least 200 times this season alone. Last season alone. And oh my god, I never realized that. How can I be so blind?
Oh, don't worry about it. I haven't really paid attention to that either. Um, it's funny because like I've been looking every single time there's a new map pool. I have to find the Ewoks because there is always an Ewok map somewhere.
There is Ewoks?
Yeah, like if you remember Disco Bloodbath, you had the Ewok in the center. A lot of the other maps, they just have Ewoks hidden somewhere in the map. It's kind of a running gag at this point. So somewhere in this map pool, there are Ewoks, and I will find them, and I will blast them for being terrible in episode 6.
Oh man. I agree. Just blast them. I.
My aim is better than a stormtrooper. Let's go with that.
Have you ever played Battlefront 2? Like Star Wars Battlefront 2, like the
No.
new one? Because there's a hunt mode where you hunt Ewoks with or better, Ewoks hunt Stormtrooper. And if you die as a Stormtrooper, you will respawn as an Ewok and just try to kill the leftovers. It's so funny because it's at night and Stormtroopers just don't see anything. And if you play as an Ewok, it looks like daytime.
Oh, that is hilarious. And speaking of hilarious here, we got some Hellions once again going to be on the way for Vindicta. You know, he's been, like, I wouldn't say he's been struggling with his Hellions. He's been doing a really good job of kind of just keeping them alive and out on the map for a good amount of time. But he just hasn't really been able to get that kind of great early game damage. That's kind of his falter point here. He needs to be able to get more damage early on. Because the second a Zerg is up on 3 bases, 50 drones, it becomes so much more difficult because they just snowball so heavily.
Yes, and SortOf especially is so good at splitting off smaller groups of Zerglings to send into your very own third base, so you never really get those get the chances to attack him and damage his economy.
And once again, we're going to be going up to that lair tech pretty nice and early. And with the addition of 2 more gas expos, might be seeing a third here. I think that would be nice because that would mean Mutalisks stuck on 3 right here. It could mean either Roaches or Hydralisks very early on. But
I think we're looking at Mutalisks. He's adding. He has 2 more gases. I think you add the additional gases if you have the Spire. Yet there is the Spire. Okay, so we will see Mutalisks, and the battle cruiser is about to be launched.
yeah, you know, he hasn't actually seen that fusion core, so he doesn't know that it is indeed a battlecruiser. Kind of interesting to see Spire only on 3 gas. Usually you need 4 gases to make that effective, especially if you're going to be adding in the Roaches. But SortOf's response was pretty darn decent when he saw battlecruisers last. Will Vindicta be able to put on the aggression that he needs with that battlecruiser?
We already see a switch up by Vindicta. He is indeed going for mech. I was
Finally.
already wondering why he added those two additional gases, but now we know those 2 additional factories are coming in, and Eternal Empire is a great map to go for a mech style. The run by at the natural picking up off at those supply depots, but should not be able to get through. Right? Yeah, the battle cruiser will be able to shoo them away.
Yeah, the fleet has been called in. The battlecruisers are going to be warping on in, but the Queen's in a decent position with plenty of transfuse energy. Not too much going to happen here as the Corruptors are on the way as well. So the thing is, Vindicta is going to be going up to probably about 3 to 4 battlecruisers with this strategy, even getting the Yamato cannon to help out. The question is, will sort of overreact on his corruptor count. If you get too many corruptors, you just get decimated by the ground army, especially on a map like this where mech is so powerful.
Yeah, and if you get not enough of them, you will just get decimated by the battle cruisers. As long as Vindicta is able to keep those battle cruisers alive, I think he's in a great position. But if sort of manages to pick them off early on, we are going to see some issues for Vindicta. He decided to go into battle mech, judging by the mech field accelerator upgrade.
You know, one of the big things as well versus this is sort of you have to get that creep spread going very heavily. I know I say it a lot. Creep spread is very important as a Zerg player. It doubly so with Battle Mech because the less creep you have, the easier it is for your opponent to kind of jump around and just be super aggressive on your side of the map. You have to have that creep to engage into it.
Keep in mind, SortOf is only adding in those this one evolution chamber right now. He looks very, very committed to this attack with those roaches, Ravagers, and the Corruptors. The Corruptors are now going for the main base. The orbital command is getting sprayed, and the roaches are closing in onto the third base.
This is actually devastating for Vindicta right now. His supply is dropping quite heavily, having to abandon the third base, trying to keep it alive as long as possible at the cost of all of his SCVs. There is not much left to defend, and SortOf takes game number 6. He is.
And takes the series.
He is your APS champion.
He played so well in those couple of matches. I am so impressed by him, and this once again proves to Cosmic Gaming, right? It's his new team, that they indeed picked up a really good Zerg player right there.
Oh, indeed. I think they are looking at that and salivating at the further victories that SortOf is going to bring them. But congratulations to SortOf. He did a fantastic job. Vindicta, we got to say, he gave us some amazing games as well. And, you know, you can't get that kind of game anywhere but top tier. And you know what, guys? We got one more sponsor shout out for you. We got a certain amount we got to do, so let me just go through it real quick. Get into my sponsor face. And you know, G Fuel is the official drink of esports, and right now they're inviting you to take a trip down flavor memory lane with their new G Fuel bubblegum. It's their newest, mind-blowing concoction made with zero sugar and packed with antioxidants and vitamins. Be transported back in time with this classic taste of childhood while getting the energy and focus you've come to expect from G Fuel products. Check out their sponsor quests on our event page for more info on how to get your hands on G Fuel's nostalgic take on a time-tested favorite.
And while we are at it, make sure to jump over to matcherino.com to get those replay packs, because SortOf has been playing so well, and all of the funds that will be created over there, that will be gathered over there, will go into the prize pool that is for those two players. So even if you want to support Vindicta and don't really care about SortOf, or the other way around, make sure to go there, put in some money as much as you can afford, and just hop on the next time.
Yep, and that is going to be it for us here. Once again, congratulations to SortOf and Vindicta for some amazing games. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Without you guys, it's not possible. I've been Passer. You can find me down at the link below. We got Black One over there. Thank you for the joining.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. And we will have to tell you guys, we will see you at the next big event.
Bye bye.